Self-care has become a buzzword in recent years, and it's often touted as the solution to all of our problems. While taking care of yourself is undoubtedly essential, self-care alone is not enough to address the root causes of our anxiety, stress, or burnout. In many cases, self-care is nothing more than a band-aid solution that masks deeper issues. For example, if you're working in a toxic work environment, taking a bubble bath or practicing mindfulness might provide temporary relief, but it won't address the underlying problem. In this case, the real solution might be to find a new job or have a difficult conversation with your boss. Similarly, if you're struggling with a mental health condition like depression or anxiety, self-care practices like exercise and meditation can be helpful, but they're not a substitute for getting to the deeper layers of where the depression or anxiety comes from and what you can do to heal those parts of yourself so you can move forward. So, what about self-love? It's another term that's often thrown around, but what does it really mean? For many of us, it means accepting ourselves, flaws and all. It means taking time for ourselves, indulging in self-care, and making our own well-being a priority. It means surrounding ourselves with people who uplift and support us, and letting go of those who might bring us down. It means finding inner peace and quieting the critical voice in our heads that tells us we're not good enough. It means pursuing our passions and finding joy and fulfillment in our lives. Self-love isn't just a buzzword. It's a mindset that can transform our lives and help us become the best version of ourselves. But self-love is not just about bubble baths and positive affirmations. It's about cultivating self-trust and developing a deeper sense of self-awareness. Self-love includes stepping out of our comfort zones and challenging ourselves to grow and evolve. It involves being accountable for our choices and taking responsibility for our lives. It means communicating assertively and setting boundaries to protect our own well-being. It means embracing our imperfections and using them as opportunities for growth and learning. It means having faith in ourselves and our abilities and trusting that we have the power to create the lives we desire. Self-love goes beyond self-care. It's about transcending our limitations, facing our mental and emotional challenges, and living our fullest potential. Furthermore, it means having faith and surrendering to a higher power which allows us to soften into being rather than doing, and trust that we are being taken care of, that everything has a higher purpose that sometimes the naked human eye and ego cannot make sense of. Have you ever looked back at your life and realized that everything lined up the way it did to lead you to your peak moments? That the breakup had to happen, that you had to lose that job or that friendship in order to allow space for the even more aligned people, situations, and events to happen for you. The biggest awakening that humans can have is the fact that we cannot control every outcome or situation. Once we allow ourselves to let go of the need for control, which is the illusion of the ego trying to keep you safe, then we can allow life to happen for us rather than to us. You will then start to see the beauty of the interconnectedness of every moment. In order to assess human theories of motivation, we can look at psychologist Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Abraham Maslow was a researcher of human potential and one of the founders of Humanistic Psychology in the 1950s. The process of self-actualization played a critical role in Maslow's theory. He defined this tendency as it may be loosely described as the full use and exploitation of talents, capabilities, potentialities, etc. Such people seem to be fulfilling themselves and to be doing the best that they are capable of doing. They are people who have developed or are developing to the full stature of which they are capable. In other words, people are constantly in the process and pursuit of striving to be at their fullest potential. Self-actualization, however, is not an endpoint or a destination. It's an ongoing process, much like the process of purpose. Maslow believed that self-actualized people possess a number of key characteristics. Some of these include self-acceptance, spontaneity, independence, and the ability to have peak experiences. As Maslow neared the end of his life, he added a few more layers to his theory. Self-transcendence being at the top of the pyramid rather than self-actualization. He refers to transcendence as the very highest and most inclusive or holistic level of human consciousness, behaving and relating, as ends rather than means, to oneself, to significant others, to human beings in general, to other species, to nature, and to the cosmos. In this sense, self-transcendence offers individuals what Maslow calls peak experiences, those in which personal worries transcend to allow them to observe what happens from a broader perspective. It's about experiences that create strong positive emotions such as joy and peace, and a well-developed sense of consciousness. Peak experiences are not restricted solely to individuals who are self-actualized. However, Maslow believed that self-actualized individuals can reach peak experiences more easily and were more likely to experience them more often. So what are peak experiences? Peak experiences are often described as transcendent moments of pure joy and elation. These are moments that stand out from everyday events. The memory of these moments seem monumental in people's lives and are likened to spiritual experiences. Some experts describe peak experiences as a heightened sense of wonder, awe, or ecstasy. 3 characteristics of peak experiences. Fulfillment. Peak experiences generate positive emotions and are intrinsically rewarding. Significance. Peak experiences lead to an increase in personal awareness and understanding and can serve as a turning point in a person's life. Spiritual. During a peak experience, people feel at one with the world and often experience a sense of losing track of time. Have you ever had a peak experience? What was it like? Let us know in the comments below. As a collective society, we are reaching levels of self-actualization and transcendence in which people are seeking fulfillment and purpose in their lives and are no longer okay with the status quo. We are looking to be more honest with ourselves and with each other, expressing our emotions and acknowledging our unique gifts and talents without judgment or hierarchical structures. As a society, we are craving more collaboration and community relationships and work-life balance. We're fed up with overworking for status and compromising our health and well-being in the process. So that's why I've created this community of conscious co-creators, other people just like you who are innately artists, healers, teachers, guides, and people who are just in the pursuit of self-actualization and transcendence. So you may connect and collaborate with other like-hearted individuals. If this resonates for you, please like and subscribe to my channel. So, if self-care isn't the answer, what can you do instead? Here are some effective strategies that you could try. Address the underlying issues. Instead of relying solely on self-care, take a step back and identify the root causes of your stress, anxiety, or burnout. Is it a toxic work environment, a difficult relationship, or an untreated issue from the past? Once you've identified the problem, you can start taking steps to address it. Transcend the mind. Learn more about your mind, body, and spirit connection and how you can actively work to process and transmute energy so you can feel in harmony and balance in your day-to-day life. Rather than seeking fulfillment from external sources, you can start to practice being in a state of gratitude and peace no matter what happens. Cultivate self-trust and compassion. Treat yourself and others with kindness and understanding, and don't beat yourself up if you're struggling. Remember that you're doing the best with what you have, and that's enough. Set boundaries. Many of us struggle to say no or to set boundaries, which can lead to overwhelm and burnout. Make a list of your priorities and learn to say no to anything that doesn't align with them. This might mean saying no to a social event or delegating tasks at work. Seek support. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. This might mean reaching out to a therapist, coach, mentor, joining a support group, or talking to a trusted friend or family member. In conclusion, self-care is essential, but it's not a magic bullet that can solve all of our problems. Instead of relying solely on external self-care practices, we need to address the underlying issues, learn to set boundaries, seek support, practice self-trust and self-compassion, and most importantly, self-transcendence. You don't need to do everything yourself. Surrender to having faith in a higher power that you can call upon, and that is walking this journey with you. By doing so, we can cultivate resilience and a more sustainable path to well-being. If you're interested in how you can invest in your personal growth, learn to love and know yourself more deeply so you can self-actualize and self-transcend, you can book a call with me using the link below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.